My name is Peter Dubé, and I am the founder of Thanks for Giving Day. The purpose of Thanks for Giving Day is to give children and families the tools they need to give them their time, talent, and treasure. Philanthropy and volunteerism are wonderful ways for parents to share their core values with their children. And in some cases, children can teach their parents how to give back to the causes they support. I have been involved with the nonprofit fundraising for more than 40 years. During that time, I have learned some valuable lessons. Number one, philanthropy is proactive, whereas fundraising is reactive. Most people want to give, but they just don't know how. You don't have to be rich to be a giver. You should think globally, but give locally. Support the causes that you know and trust. Thanks for Giving Day is an idea that has been in the works for 25 years. This is an idea that is near and dear to my heart. I believe it could greatly increase charitable giving and volunteerism across the country. Thanksgiving started in Plymouth 400 years ago. Why not Thanks for Giving Day? Thanks for Giving is about philanthropy, not fundraising, although fundraising can be a byproduct of this program. We hope that you will use the Thanks for Giving Day toolbox to create a new family tradition in your home. The 7 Thanks for Giving Day tools are, number 1, the children's book. Number 2, the family pledge form. Number 3, the Tommy Bank. 4, the charitable checking account. 5, the Illuminate candle. 6, the honor card. And finally, number 7, Giving Tuesday. We had an opportunity in the fall of 2017 to test these tools with 15 families from Manomet Elementary School in Plymouth, Mass. The following are the results of our test program. First question I had is, did you read the book? And the response was 100% response, which is great, makes me feel good. And it seemed like everybody enjoyed it. And could you tell me a little bit about what the experience was when did your kids read it? Did you read it? Did you read it together?
We read it together.
Okay.
Yep, I read it with both of the kids, and they liked it. They liked the story, and I think you're right. I think it was, you had said you thought around 3rd grade,
Yeah.
so like it would have been a little tough for my 2nd grader to read, but certainly like my 5th grader could. You know what I mean? So I think that's probably right around the area.
Yeah.
Where they could have read it. You know, she could have read it on her own, but we read it together.
I read it to him, and anything that was maybe going to go over his head, I just reworded myself. But yeah, he sat for the whole thing, liked it.
Great.
Had questions and
Good.
wondering.
What kind of questions?
The girl's dad is sick, and I don't know.
Well, you got
We
all
probably
of
ended
that.
up talking about giraffes by the end, but like question. But yeah, he liked it.
Great.
Yeah, and my 3rd grader read it on his own.
Okay.
I read it separately. My 1st grader, I couldn't even get him to like focus on it, but as soon as he heard his 3rd grade brother talking about it, he was interested in
That's
it.
interesting.
So, yeah.
Good.
And I read it we read it together. I have a kindergartner and a 3rd grader. So we read it together, and they were both, interested in it and
Good.
enjoyed it. So.
After they read the book, the back of the book where it talks a little bit about the plantation and the program,
Yeah.
they started talking about where they would want to give money. And it was kind of interesting to hear because it was very relatable to them. And I didn't give my opinion on it in any way.
Right.
So it was kind of charities they knew or places they've been or kids they know that have had experiences at hospitals or experiences they've had or a food bank they've donated to in the past or something we do at church. And so they kind of talked through it themselves for much longer than I thought they would.
Mm-hmm.
And then we sat down and they each wanted to write on it. That was a big thing. So they each put their own name.
Great.
And then, we filled out the rest of it. But I actually thought that was a good exercise for them because I learned myself that they knew a little more than I thought they did.
Yeah, better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, the goal now is to keep the bank all year because you really didn't have a lot of time to raise a lot of money, but now you've got it. So, do you still have the bank going?
Yeah.
And are you going to keep it going?
I think it's easy to just have a spot to.
Throw all that loose change too.
Exactly. Okay.
Like for
Right.
me, just to open a charitable checking account, it's kind of, why not? I can just do it out of my own account. But if a bank were to say, we'll match this amount, or we'll also, then I think that would be big incentive
Yeah.
to do it.
I think the incentive in making it simple.
Yeah.
And free checking as well. You want to make sure.
Yes.
I don't want to put money I'm giving to a charity in it and
And
watch
have yeah.
watch $10 a month go to fees or something.
3 years ago, we started doing this event called Illuminate Thanksgiving, and it really is meant to make people think about what they have and how to give back to their community, to their country, and to their world. We really can't do this without the voices of young people and children, because they are the future.
So we enjoyed it. We went a few years ago.
We went the very first
First
year
year.
of its inception in our girls' dance. They were part of one of
Okay.
the
They were
acts.
part of the
The
act.
Girl Scouts?
No,
No,
dance
this is
team.
the
Oh, the
dance
dance
team.
team.
But then my Girl Scout troop last year was part of, they lit candles and
Yeah.
they did pictures and sang and stuff. So I did that last year with
It
them.
was fun. We
Yeah.
went around to different stations that year. There was different things going on.
Yeah.
They enjoyed it. I sat down and I showed them how to fill out the honor card because being in nonprofits for years, I've seen
Yeah.
1,000 of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is something really good for you to know how to use. And I explained it to them, and we made the donation. I thought the honor card was good. I think if you're not doing the online donation, they're good to have.
Did anybody make their donations on Giving Tuesday? Did anybody have a chance to explore their website at all? It's a
Okay.
social media campaign, and it's actually taken off tremendously on college campuses and in high schools, because every kid's got a cell phone and they're all online, and so it's grown tremendously over the years. So eventually, what I'd like to do is make Plymouth a Giving Tuesday community. That's kind of one of my goals. The last question I asked was, will you do it again next year? And I got 100% response, positive response. And so what I'm hoping to do is to use this program as an example in working with the schools. And my goal is to do this across the town of Plymouth next year. So we'll involve your principal and hopefully bring it to the superintendent and the school board and see if we can get their stamp of approval.